In Beijing, there are signs that the winter hibernation is finally coming to an end. The weather is warmer, the blossom is blooming, and the people are tentatively returning to the streets. But as the virus continues to sweep around the world, we can't possibly know what to expect. One thing is for sure, every single person will experience a poignant moment when the virus goes from being a distant horror to a close reality. That might be something as mundane as a lack of toilet roll at the supermarket, or as tragic as a loved one falling ill. At the beginning of the outbreak here in China, to be honest, we had no real idea what was going on. We were told to stay inside and that places were starting to shut. The moment that it first hit home for me was when I started to see videos and pictures of doctors from all over China going to Wuhan to try and help fight the virus together. But it wasn't just that. People weren't just concerned about themselves, they were also concerned about their furry friends. This lockdown meant that people couldn't return home from trips outside the city, and countless cats, dogs, and other animals were trapped inside people's apartments. With millions of lives at risk, the authorities quite rightly had to take swift action to stop the spread of the virus, but those scenes really struck a chord with me. Trapped in my apartment in Beijing, I felt remarkably powerless to help. I don't have any elderly relatives to check on here, and my Chinese isn't exactly good enough to help out in the community. But I still wanted to make the best of the situation. I've always been an animal lover, and during the time I spent in South America, whenever I wasn't traveling around getting to know different street dogs, you could find me volunteering in animal shelters and monkey sanctuaries. Since being in China, I've kept a keen eye on lots of social media feeds for several different rescue centres around the country. Selfishly, I've always been too busy with work, this YouTube channel, or a whole host of other things to help out. But as so many people around China were giving up so much right now, I knew that now was the time for me to do my bit. And that's how I ended up with a cardboard box on my kitchen counter.
Peekaboo, I see you. Peekaboo.
Meet Bonnie. Isn't she precious? Hello. Hello.
It's okay.
At the beginning, even though she was quite timid, we had our fair share of puddles, ripped up tissues, and chewed up cables. Thankfully, she's grown out of these habits. Well, mostly. She's grown into a loving, affectionate dog. Although she still has her quirks, like barking at her own shadow, but really, we wouldn't have it any other way.
Good girl, you're so good.
It's amazing how fast she's become part of our routine, and there's nothing better than the sight of her wagging her tail first thing in the morning or last thing at night. She's a simple girl, just like me, and likes nothing better than a full tummy and a cuddle. Hey? When we first got her, we couldn't take her out on walks because she hadn't had her vaccines, so she spent most of her time snoozing. To be honest, now we can take her out on walks, she still spends most of her time snoozing. A few times a day, she can usually muster up the energy to have a walk around the hutongs to get to know our friendly neighbours. To be honest, I think I love the fresh air as much as she does. Sadly, we can't be Bonnie's forever home, but we are loving having her stay with us for a few months until this all blows over. I thought that when we took her in, we were doing her a favour, but what I didn't realise was she would be the one helping us. During this difficult time, there are lots of ups and downs, and some days are just much harder than others, but she has remained the one true constant. She's always up for a tummy rub, she loves a joint nap, and she can't wait for a dinner date. Her happiness is just infectious, and I can't possibly be sad when I look into her lovely brown eyes. I didn't realise that this was going to turn into such a gushing love letter, so before you think I've lost my mind, let's talk about some of the ways that you can help too. Pet ownership is a pretty new phenomenon here in China, and whilst animal rights is slowly improving, there's still a long way to go. But thankfully, there are loads of amazing organisations across the country run by volunteers that you can check out. First of all, adopt, don't shop. There are so many animals that need your help. Adoption really is the best option. If you can't adopt, then consider fostering like we are. If you're stuck in the house at the moment working from home, then this really is the best time. If you have a furry little companion, then it will make quarantine so much more easier for you. If you can't foster, then consider giving a donation because every little helps. Bonnie came from Lost Puppies, which is a non-profit organisation that helps rehouse Beijing's homeless dogs. If you're ever considering getting a dog, then I urge you to get one from here and give one of these many amazing animals a home. If you want to find out more information or make a donation, then here is the QR code. Just look at all these adorable faces. Eventually, Bonnie will get adopted and find her forever home, and I will be super sad for her to leave us. But she's made this time in quarantine so much more memorable for us. The main thing I want you to take away from this is that even though this is a truly awful time for the entire world, it is what you make of it, and some good can come of it too. Use this time to take care of your friends, take care of your family, and most importantly, take care of yourself. If you have some extra time on your hands, then don't waste it all by binge watching Netflix, but rather reconnect with loved ones, use it to do the things you never have time for, and don't be afraid to work on your own well-being. If you have any questions, then leave a comment below and I'll put you in touch with the relevant people. If you like this video, then give me a big thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to stay up to date with all of my content. I'll see you next time. Say bye, Bonnie. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.